In the description under each video there is a link to the LGBT dating Telegram channel. Subscribe and find your...
Carla, where are you? I heard someone call my name, taking me off my reverie. I opened my eyes quickly and saw Normani inside my dressing room. Yes? I asked, fixing my clothes. Everyone's waiting for you. It's time for your show, she said with her broad smile. And damn, there's a lot of people today, Mila, Normani said cheerfully. I could hear the loud music, the frenzied and mind-blowing beats playing in the background, people talking, laughing and having fun with the shows that were happening. Meanwhile, I was getting ready to fill the eyes of the men and women out there with lust. In that moment I forgot who I was, forgot any trace of shyness and modesty that could exist in me. In the mirror I only saw the reflection of the insinuating Carla Estrabao. I smiled at the sight that I had of me. I was sexy. I was wearing a short yellow skirt that had several layers to give volume, which modesty didn't need, and on top I had a white blouse that was tied together under my breasts, leaving my abdomen completely exposed. I grabbed the small black mask that was on top of my table, and with my eyes fixed in the mirror, I put it on. Now everything was ready. You look amazing, Mila, Normani exclaimed as she approached me, to then touch my shoulder in a comforting way. I smiled at her through the mirror. Showtime, I said smiling. Make them go crazy for you, I heard her say behind me as I walked towards the stage. The curtains were closed, my performance was solo. I moved my body to relax, when I saw Normani giving me an okay sign. That was it, the show was about to begin. Come on Carla, it's your turn, I said to myself. I closed my eyes and the slow and sensual beat started playing. The curtains opened, and in the same instant, under the small mask, so did my eyes. I saw the customers getting excited at the sight of me. Screams and applause filled the room, and this was how I liked it, this was how it should be. Miami, Florida, 8:34 a.m. Lauren's POV. I had already forgotten how hot Miami could be, since I was used to the cold of Europe. That weather was now strange to me, I thought while taking off the coat I was wearing that morning. I walked between the people who were walking from one side to the other, focused on their mobile phones or in entertaining conversations. I straightened my hair and put on my face my Ray-Ban aviator, to then head to the exit of the Miami airport, where I saw a black Mercedes waiting for me. Good morning, Ms. Jauregui. The driver greeted me politely. Good morning, Alfred, I said as I got into the car that had a great temperature thanks to the miraculous air conditioner. God, since when is Miami so hot? I grumbled, dropping my belongings on the seat. Since always, miss, the weather here is always hot, I heard Alfred say as he flashed me a small smile. I'm sorry to ask, but how is your father? You're right, I have forgotten how things are in here, I said calmly as I accommodated myself better on the seat. He's fine, he's in LA with my family. That's great, I really like Mr. Jauregui. Where should I take you? He asked, looking at me through the rearview mirror. To my new apartment, Alfred. Just follow this street, and I'll give you directions for the rest of the way. The man nodded and drove away from the airport. Looking out the window of the car and seeing the streets of Miami, I could remember very well the time I lived there, and what an amazing time it was. I knew that city like the palm of my hand. After all, I wasn't always this Lauren who only thought about work. I had already enjoyed a bit of what life had to offer, in fact, not a bit, a lot. My thoughts wandered to the memories of all the things I had done, but that was all in the past. The immature and irresponsible Lauren was no longer here. Turn left at the next corner, I said to the man who was following my directions perfectly. We finally arrived to the building where I was now going to live in. Alfred quickly got out of the car, striding to my door and opening it. Thank you, I thanked him with a smile. Alfred has been my driver ever since I was younger and lived with my parents. He was a man of a certain age, but still very helpful, by the way. I walked into the main lobby of the building, where the employees quickly went to their workplaces. It was funny how they behaved in my presence. People were usually scared of me, maybe because of the rude and arrogant manners that they thought I had, but I had no intention of making them believe otherwise. Nowadays, to be respected, people had to fear your presence. Good morning, Ms. Jauregui. One of our employees will take your luggage into your apartment. It's the 308, the only one on the penthouse. I didn't say anything, only nodded and walked to the elevator. Upon reaching my apartment, a red-haired young man entered right after me, putting my luggage in my room, stacking it perfectly. May I help you with anything else, ma'am? He asked. You can leave. That was the only thing I said. The apartment was big, an enormous area with a contemporary and sophisticated style, filled with white and brown furniture. On the walls, there were some light and dark colors, and paintings with beautiful drawings. Everything was the way I liked it. I walked to the living room, where I lay on the couch, taking off my high heels that were hurting my feet. I let my body relax on top of the couch for a few moments. The trip was long, or rather, life was being too hard. Then I got up again and went to the big balcony of my apartment. From there I had the amazing view of the skyscrapers of Miami and its beautiful coastline. This was the advantage of living in a penthouse. From above I could see the busy traffic of that hour, people walking from one side to the other, cars driving tirelessly, and I could hear honks and people talking loudly. At least it wasn't worse than NY. I heard the annoying sound of my phone, and walked into the living room, grabbing the small device from the table. The number was unknown to me, but it had the Miami area code. Hello? I would like to speak with Lauren Michelle, please. I heard a very familiar voice sound from the other side of the phone, and I couldn't believe it. Who's this? I asked with slight doubt. An old friend, and a very hot one as well. I smiled. It was impossible not to know who it was. Iglesias? You didn't forget my voice. Am I right, Jauregui? I could swear that she was smiling. How could I forget, right? I said with a smile on my face. Veronica Iglesias was none other than my childhood best friend. By her side, I committed the craziest things in my life. We were inseparable friends, we were always together for everything. Vera was always my rock. She was with me in the most difficult and complicated moments of my life. Some people even used to say that we had something more than friendship, since she never hid that she liked women, but we definitely never had anything besides one kiss after a wild night. But our plans made us travel different paths, and it's been several years since I last saw her, and I confess that I've missed her a lot. I heard that you returned to Miami today, and I'm calling to know where you live. She said, laughing. God, Lauren, I miss you so much. Her voice sounded a little melancholic. I miss you so much, too, Vero. How did you get my number? It's a secret, I have my sources. She said smugly. Okay, come see me, I'm living in downtown Miami Palace. Is that your way of showing that you're a millionaire? I couldn't help but laugh. Veronica was always joking, always smiling. Being around her was synonym of fun and good laughs. Obviously not, but you know that I've always wanted to live here, and now I can. I said a bit smugly. You are such a bitch. I'm going to finish some things here, and then I'll meet you there. I want you looking really sexy, she said, to then hang up. While Vero didn't show up, I took a nice whirlpool bath. I was tired from an exhausting day of travel, after all, going from Paris to Miami wasn't that much fun because of jet lag. It was almost dark when I heard the sound of the doorbell. I got up from my comfortable bed and went to answer it. It was her. Oh my God, Jauregui, you look so hot, she exclaimed as she hugged me tightly. I laughed in her tight embrace. I'm glad you didn't lose your awesome personality. You look beautiful, I said, hugging her tightly too. Come on in, make yourself comfortable. We talked for hours in the living room of my apartment. Vero told me everything that happened after I left. She graduated in advocacy and was now working in one of the best law firms in Miami, and I would of course try to persuade her to come work for Jauregui Industry. She told me that she dated Lucy Vives for a few years, who was our third inseparable friend from the old times, and I wasn't surprised. It was no secret that Vero and Lucy were in love with each other since college, but Vero's slutty way always screwed things up. I can't believe you let Lucy leave, I grumbled, taking a sip of my drink. I couldn't do anything. She swears I cheated on her, but I swear that I didn't. You swear? I asked doubtfully. I swear, Lore, the blonde was really hot, I admit that, but I didn't stay with her. She grumbled sadly. And why does she think that you did?
Support the channel with a reaction and write a comment under the video. Thank you very much for staying with me on the channel and subscribing.